Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Wednesday, 29th October 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister reiterates her support for the fight against drugs while explaining the visit of the U.S. frigate. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says joint training exercises between the U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago armed forces are solely for improving internal security. This TTT News item tells us more.
The Prime Minister's assurance comes amid reports of the Venezuelan government's proposal to suspend all gas agreements with Trinidad and Tobago for being complicit with the United States military actions in the Caribbean. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar, in a WhatsApp message, said, "This is of no concern to us as Trinidad and Tobago's future does not depend on Venezuela." The Prime Minister said the government has its plans and projects to grow the economy both within the energy and non-energy sectors. The Prime Minister accused the last PNM government of placing all its hopes in the Dragon project. She said her government has not done so, therefore is not susceptible to any blackmail from the Venezuelans for political support. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar assured that Trinidad and Tobago continues to maintain peaceful relations with the Venezuelan people and has not had any energy discussions with the Venezuelan government since coming into office.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is mobilizing to provide immediate assistance to Jamaica in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, via a statement, said Trinidad and Tobago is prepared to offer manpower, technical resources, emergency supplies, and foodstuff to aid relief and recovery efforts. She said this information has been communicated to Jamaica's Prime Minister, Andrew Holness.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is mobilizing to provide immediate assistance to Jamaica in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, via a statement, said TnT is prepared to offer manpower, technical resources, emergency supplies, and foodstuffs to aid relief and recovery efforts. She said this information has been communicated to Jamaica's Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. The Prime Minister assured the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has been in active communication with the Trinidad and Tobago High Commission in Jamaica to monitor the situation and provide assistance to TNT's citizens currently in Jamaica. Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said the government, in partnership with key stakeholders, will launch a national collection drive to gather relief supplies. These supplies will be sent to Jamaica to assist those most in need, particularly in vulnerable communities expected to face the brunt of the hurricane's impact.
Barbados' Attorney General Dale Marshall is suggesting a possible link between violence at home and violence in the streets. He was speaking at the opening ceremony of a regional symposium to advance state response on domestic violence held at the Hilton Barbados Resort. CBC's Anesta Henry was there and has more on this story.
Concern is growing about the rise in youth crime, and one government minister believes the roots go deeper than what the statistics show. Just under a week ago, the Barbados Police Service raised concerns about the hundreds of young people being charged for criminal offenses. Today, Attorney General Dale Marshall is suggesting that there may be a link between domestic violence and youth crime.
And I don't know that there's a scientifically established causal relationship between domestic violence and youth involved in crime. If there is, I'd be happy if you would share it with me. But I think it is almost intuitive that such a relationship would exist, because it stands to reason that a family relationship, a family environment where domestic violence is a feature is going to be a dysfunctional family. And I think our experience shows that dysfunctional families are often the breeding ground for young individuals who are involved in crime.
Over the past year, 2 16-year-olds have been charged for fatal shootings, and several teenagers face the law for subjecting parts of the island to a reign of terror, including robberies and stealing cars.
And I think that when we look at the family relationship, we will find that they are the products of dysfunctional families.
The AG says the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit is leading research into these patterns. Some victims of crime are attending the symposium hosted by the Office of the Attorney General in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank and the Caribbean Development Bank.
I wanted them to be part of this dialogue, and I'm very happy that some of them have consented to be here. So it's going to be a sensitive subject for us, and in many respects, the solutions are not just going to be found in terms of what laws we can draft. The solutions are also going to be found in what community responses we can provide to help to lift up those individuals who suffer from these challenges.
IDB Country Representative Karina Cockburn says addressing domestic violence presents a complex challenge for the state.
Domestic violence cannot be addressed through isolated interventions. It demands whole of government collaboration, strong institutions, survivor-centered systems, and deep partnerships across security, justice, gender, social services, civil society, and development actors.
In Barbados, between 2016 and 2018, at least one report of domestic violence per day was made to the police. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro took to the airwaves in English, practically begging the United States to back off. Details in this WPLG Local 10 News item out of Miami.
No crazy war.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro takes to the airwaves in English, practically begging the United States to back off.
Please, please, please. Yes, peace. Peace forever.
But Maduro's words have seemingly fallen on deaf ears. The Trump administration is ramping up its military presence in the Caribbean as the president weighs launching military strikes within Venezuela.
Probably in the interior of Venezuela or in the drug-making areas.
Moises Ben Habib is a member of the World Affairs Council Miami and a former U.S. Foreign Affairs officer.
There are more than enough warships now in the region to topple the government if we decide to do that.
The U.S. Navy ordered its most advanced carrier strike group, the USS Gerald Ford, to make its way from Europe to the region, marking a major escalation. Maduro claims the U.S. is trying to drive him from power.
They're inventing a war that we will avoid.
This is all an indication for him to leave the country.
The U.S. has also been carrying out strikes on alleged drug trafficking vessels. The strikes leaving at least 43 people dead.
They take great care in identifying, the vessel and what it's carrying.
U.S. Representative Carlos Jimenez serves on the Homeland Security and Armed Services committees.
We have a $50 million bounty on his head, his capture. We have named him the head of a narco-trafficking terrorist group, the Cartel de los Soles.
Venezuela has also accused the CIA of plotting a false flag operation via Trinidad and Tobago.
Oro puro, CIA. What we found is pure gold. CIA connected to those sectors that hate Venezuela.
I take everything with a big grain of salt.
Very skeptical that that is actually the case.
So far, the White House has not commented on these allegations being made by Venezuela's government, though earlier this month, President Trump did confirm that he greenlit CIA operations on land within Venezuela. The CIA has a long history of operating in Latin America.
Antigua and Barbuda has paid homage to its 5 deceased national heroes and honored its lone living hero. National Heroes Day activities on Monday were marked by a solemn wreath-laying event as officials led the reflection on the fallen titans of the country's development. It was an opportune time as the nation counts down to the celebrations of its 44th anniversary of independence. ABS's Ursel Charles Jr. reports.
May their journeys continue to inspire us, and may we as one people, under God, walk steadfastly and soar together toward the destiny they envisage.
That's the admonition of Governor General His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams on the occasion of the wreath-laying ceremony to commemorate National Heroes Day 2025. Speaking on the bright blue skies from Heroes Park in Tomlinson's, Sir Rodney's call to action was for Antiguans and Barbudans everywhere to reflect on this year's independence theme: solid, stable, soaring.
To be solid is to stand firm on the foundation of integrity and unity. To be stable is to strengthen the institutions and values that secure our future. And to soar is to rise not for personal gain, but for collective progress and national pride.
The day honored the 5 fallen national heroes: Severe Cornwall Bird, Dame Georgiana Nellie Robinson, King Court or Prince Class, Sir George Herbert Walter, and Celeste Bryant Bird. And it also recognized the lone living national hero, Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. Dignitaries including Sir Rodney Williams, the Honourable E.P. Chet Green, and the Honourable Darrell Matthew laid wreaths at the newly constructed monument honouring all 5 fallen heroes. Also presenting wreaths were representatives of the Bird families, a representative from the Antigua Barbuda Reparations Support Commission, and Dame Nellie Robinson, alongside resident ambassadors from Venezuela and Britain. The day was also punctuated by the precision of the National Armed Forces. They were also masterful in song. And also lending musical accents were songbirds Deshaun Hughes and Dana Barnes.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
A day indeed befitting the lives and legacy of those who've gone above and beyond to pave a path and make significant positive contributions to the growth and development of Antigua and Barbuda. For ABS News, I'm Ursel Charles Jr.
ZNS News reports that retired Commissioner of Police in the Bahamas appointed Consul General in Toronto.
Months after resigning as Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernando is off to assume another high post early November. This one abroad, as Foreign Affairs Minister the Honorable Fred Mitchell shared with reporters this morning.
It is correct that the former commissioner is now the Consul General in Toronto, and I expect him to do a good job at it. He's got the experience of in administration and international affairs, and I'm sure he'll help the Bahamian community in Toronto very well.
Fernando replaces former Cabinet Minister and Consul General Melanie Griffin, who Minister Mitchell says will work out of headquarters here in the capital.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.